Really great news for professional firms and agencies. You can guess exactly how busy your team's gonna be next month. And you can do it without buying some fancy new tool. Now, I'm gonna tell you about Claude, but you can really use whatever tools you want, and we're gonna be working with your existing tech stack to inform this information. So first things first, a rule, of course. We're the 128 Collective, we're process people, there's always governance. If you don't have 1 to 2 years of historical time tracking data, project data, resource data, this is not going to work for you. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I just want to be straightforward about that. We need you to keep track of your work year by year. So if you're new, comment down below. You can watch the rest of the video if you want. I'm not kicking you out by any means. I just want to be straight up with you that it might not be worth it for you, but I can make a video for you because you can still you can still do resource planning. It's just much simpler than this, and we can help you set yourself up to start collecting that data so when it's time, you can do it easily. Just comment down below and I'll make that video. All right, so the first thing we need to do for those of you who have the 1 to 2 years of data is we need to gather a bunch of clues. If we're doing predictive modeling, we do have to feed it something. It can't just read our minds, right? So step 1 is clues, and there's 4 clues that I want you to go out and gather. The first is any new deals that people are talking about. The second is any contracts, statement of works that have been signed, but the work just hasn't been started yet. The third is how long all the different jobs that your organization does usually takes. So if it's maybe a WordPress site takes 12 weeks, but a Shopify site takes 6 weeks. That's information that we need to know. And the fourth is any seasonality trends. So for example, at the 128 Collective, summer is usually a little bit quieter for us, but Q4, Q1, Q2 are absolutely nuts. The second step of a predictive model is we need to pick one thing to predict. One thing. This is every single time I say this, I'll watch the watch rate just go meow. And this is the part that everybody messes up because they want to know everything. But the thing is, if you get this wrong, the rest of the work we do to set up this model, it literally doesn't matter because it will probably be inaccurate. So for example, you might want to know how many front-end dev hours am I going to need in Q4 if you're a dev shop. So hopefully you're tracking with me so far, but we have your clues and your variable. The third step, we need to line up your data. So here's where a lot of people will tell me like, okay, here are our project start dates and end dates for the last 2 years. And unfortunately, that's not helpful for predictive modeling. For a simpler based resource management or resource planning technique, that can work, but for predictive modeling, that's not gonna fly. I need to know the actual hours that people work, the actual hours people worked for every single week on every single project type that you can find. This is a lot of data to gather manually, so if you don't have it, I wouldn't recommend going down this road necessarily. If you have a project management tool and your team has been tracking hours, that's great. We just need to pull that out of your tool. It should take a few seconds and we could probably ask Claude to do it for you. You really need, this is where you need that 1 to 2 years of week over week data for the model to get it as accurate as humanly possible. This isn't human. As accurate as robotically possible. All right, and step 4 is gonna be contradictory, but old data is not enough. So we can't just base everything on the past because the way that companies work is most companies, their past is not a continuation of their future. Their future is directly influenced by what the pipeline looks like. And the pipeline is always shifting, right? And one deal could move it a whole hell of a lot. So I'm gonna need you to plug in 4 things. 1, how many deals are close to closing? So this is gonna be like your probability. And if you run with a CRM, it should auto calculate this for you. If you don't, that's okay. You can use your best guess or you can reach out to us and we can help you figure out how to do that. How many new people are reaching out to you? So how many leads is your marketing bringing in? I would look at this on like a month-over-month basis, and also specifically like how many deals are closing right now? How many leads is marketing bringing in right now? For the deals that are closing, when might they start? So like the projected start date for those. And finally, again, any seasonality. So for me, I'd be like, okay, it's the middle of Q3. There's 4 deals in the pipeline right now with greater than a 70% chance of closing, and they would all have a start date in the beginning of Q4. Step 5 is to validate your model, and we're gonna use this in Claude. Now there is a whole prompt, and I'm gonna put it in the description box. You can grab it there, but here's how we're gonna do it. You're gonna give Claude your historical data set. So the last 2 years of data with the week over week hours. You're gonna give it the information, sorry about the dog here, about the deals that are closing, when you think they're gonna close, the amount of leads marketing is bringing in right now, and your seasonality information. With the prompt that we're giving Claude's then gonna split that into 2 different sets. There's going to be the training set. So that's gonna be everything except for the last 8 to 12 weeks of data that we're gonna be testing against. Sorry, I meant to preface with that. How we're gonna validate it is we're gonna take your last 8 to 12 weeks of data specifically. So it's gonna look at everything except for the last 8 to 12 weeks of data. The second set is going to be the test set, and that'll be your 8 to 12 weeks of data. Claude's going to train the actual model. So if you are going to be based on historical time-based information, you're gonna be using Profit. And if you're going to be solely based on the CRM, it's going to use XGBoost. And Claude should be able to decide whichever one's going to fit your data. Claude is going to train the actual model, which is the training set, which is all of the historical information except for the last 8 to 12 weeks. It's going to ignore the last 8 to 12 weeks, and it's going to train the model on everything else. So what Claude's going to do with the prompt I give you guys is then going to predict the 8 to 12 weeks that it ignored. Then Claude's going to look at its predicted metrics. It's going to look at the actual metrics, and it's going to figure out the error rate. If it's above 40%, it's not a good model. We can't use it. We got to make a change. We're looking at mean absolute percentage error. More about that in the prompt. So if you pass that 40% mean actual percentage error test, then you move on to step 6, which is keeping it fresh. We need to retrain this regularly. You cannot retrain it quarterly. You need to retrain it weekly. Now, you don't really need to add any person overhead to do this because Claude can completely manage that for you. So what you're going to do is you're going to give it a prompt. Again, I will put that in the description box below, and you're going to do it with cowork and schedule it to run once a week and just retrain that model every single week, and it will just get more and more accurate. So that's why we use that 40% mean absolute error rate, mean absolute percentage error, because one deal loss can change the entire forecasting model. All right, so just to recap, what can Claude help you do when it comes to predicting what you need to have for resourcing in the next quarter? First, it can take all of your files from your project management tool, your time tracking tool, your CRM, anything else that you might be tracking data in related to your resourcing, and it can consolidate it into one file for the model to run against. 2, it can take in all of those clues that we grabbed, which was the new deals, the statement of work signed that haven't started yet, the typical duration of your different projects, and the seasonality, and it can factor that in to make the model more accurate. 3, it can write the real code to run these models so you don't have to pay for really, really expensive modeling software. 4, it can also write the code to check whether or not the model that's running is accurate or not. And finally, when you're going to retrain it, as long as you set up the connectors, it can hook up to all of your other apps so you don't have to do anything. It's going to pull all of that information in for you: CRM, project management tool, time tracking tool, organize it, run the model, retrain the model weekly, so then what you're looking at is always up to date and always accurate. If you want to know more about resource planning, whether you're, you don't have 2 or 1 year of data, or you do have 2+ years of data, leave your comments below. Let me know what else you want to see. I'm happy to make another video. And I will see you all next Sunday.